But there's another interesting aspect of sexuality I'd like to touch on, which is the ambiguous bathrooms in Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom, I'll probably put a picture here of Rock Bottom, is a place where SpongeBob and I think Patrick end up in one of the episodes of
Yeah.
SpongeBob, and it is mysterious and strange, and everything there seems to be inverted. They speak a language that SpongeBob and Patrick do not understand.
What?
The bus schedule, the next bus.
I can't understand your accent.
Next bus to Bikini Bottom.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
There's another interesting thing about the bathrooms in Rock Bottom, and I'll probably put a picture of the bathrooms here too. Philip has a good bit to say about the confusing bathrooms in Rock Bottom. So Philip, take it away.
Yeah. So SpongeBob and Patrick, they get off the bus, and Bikini Bottom, like we've already talked about, is, or maybe it was touched on in the trailer, but Bikini Bottom is everything in SpongeBob works as an inversion, which we'll touch on more of those elements in a bit. But they go even further down. All right, they take a bus, they go straight down into a trench basically, and are at the bottom of the ocean, hence the name Rock Bottom. So SpongeBob and Patrick get there, and Patrick has to use the bathroom, and there's a question mark on the bathroom doors. There's a erect, upside up question mark, and then there's an upside down question mark. And so they wait for someone to come out of the bathroom so they can tell what it is, if it's a man or a woman. Well, the creatures that keep coming out of the bathrooms are so ambiguous that they can't tell what's coming out of the bathroom. So they just sit there and wait. So we can see this as, right, the question mark is kind of like the snake, right? So we can see this as sort of like an underworld, even more sort of upside down type of thing, right? So in scripture, the word Sheol literally means riddle or question, something that's not answerable. And we kind of see this phenomena in our own day, right, with the sort of the transgender bathroom kinds of things, right? So you have these stories all the time of men going into women's bathrooms, and you're like, well, is that a man? Is that a woman? I'm not sure. So now we are having to ask ourselves today, right, like, is this, like, what's coming out of this? Is this some kind of, probably going to get banned on YouTube for me saying this, right? Is this some kind of coming out of this bathroom? Like, what is this creature, right? It's, and the symbolism of question mark is, it is the snake. It's slithery, it's curved, it's right, it's that which points away from the center, right? So it slithers around it. Snakes don't really have much of an identity because it's constantly shifting, constantly changing. And this is what we see in flux with the whole transgender thing. It's this constantly shifting, constantly changing thing. So it's fitting that happens at the bottom, right? Because when you get to the bottom of things, right, we see this in our day-to-day experience. You pick up dust and you don't have like a creature dust or like grass, right? There's lots of grass, but you can't like singularly identify grass like you can a human being. So the further you go to the bottom of things, the more sort of multiplicity arises. And even if we want to look at this from a very materialist level, right, the lower we go into reality, the more and more multiplicity it is, right? So you are made up of a bunch of cells. Those cells are made up of parts. Those parts are made up of atoms, and so on and so forth. So it's, of course, it makes sense that there's this weird multiplicity going on here, this constantly shifting, this constantly changing, even to the level, most especially fitting to the level of the bathrooms,